The screech of power tools filled my Saturday morning as the construction crew worked on my front porch. I was stepping outside with coffee for the workers when I heard it. The unmistakable click-clack of expensive heels on pavement, followed by an indignant gasp. What in the name of property values is going on here? Patricia Drummond, our HOA president, stood at the edge of my lawn, her manicured hand clutching a clipboard like a weapon. She marched up my driveway, face reddening. "Stop this construction immediately," she barked at the workers. "This is unauthorized. You cannot build this monstrosity without HOA approval." She took photos from every angle, muttering about visual pollution. Then she turned to me with a sour smile. "Mark Sullivan, you're looking at thousands in daily fines until this eyesore is removed." But what she didn't know was that this ramp was the only way my son could enter his childhood home again. I've lived on Maple Ridge Drive for 22 years. I retired early last year to prepare for my son Kyle's return. Kyle joined the Army right after high school, following in the footsteps of his grandfather and great-grandfather. He served 3 tours in Afghanistan. He was supposed to come home for good this Christmas. Instead, I got to call every military parent dreads: an IED. Critical injuries, medevac to Germany, then Walter Reed. They saved his life, but not his legs. For 3 months, I prepped for his return, widened doorways, added grab bars, redid the bathroom. But the most crucial piece was the ramp, a simple, tasteful structure that matched the house, nothing flashy. Patricia didn't care. She'd moved in 5 years ago and ruled the HOA like a queen, measuring tape in one hand, bylaws in the other. This ramp extends beyond the approved porch dimensions. It alters the home's facade. It needs a formal review. 6 to 8 weeks minimum. "Patricia," I said, trying to stay calm, "my son returns next week. He needs this ramp. Personal circumstances don't override standards. You should have thought of that. Expect a cease and desist by Monday." The foreman stepped in. "This ramp meets ADA standards. City permits are in order." "City permits mean nothing here. This is an HOA community." Neighbors had gathered. Some looked sympathetic, others afraid. But I didn't care about her threats. Kyle deserved to enter his home with dignity. Patricia escalated. Daily violation notices, emergency HOA meetings, Facebook rants about falling property values. Her lawyer husband even drafted a letter claiming the ramp was a liability risk. I responded with documents, ADA certificates, doctor letters. She waved them away. HOA rules supersede everything. But Patricia miscalculated. She didn't count on veterans in the neighborhood or parents who knew sacrifice. The day Kyle arrived, American flags lined my lawn. Eddie, a Vietnam vet, tied yellow ribbons around my mailbox. The ramp was decorated with signs, "Welcome home, Kyle," and "Hero lives here." Then came the heels again. Patricia with a cease and desist envelope. "This ramp must be removed in 72 hours. "Patricia, please," said Janet from across the street. "His son is a wounded veteran. Show some compassion." "Compassion doesn't maintain property values," Patricia snapped. Then a van pulled up. Kyle stepped out, unfolded his wheelchair, and wheeled up the ramp with perfect control, his uniform crisp, his medals gleaming. "Hi, I'm Kyle Sullivan. I understand there's concern about this ramp." Patricia turned pale. 3 months ago, I lost my legs to an IED. This ramp isn't about rules. It's about entering my home without being carried like a child. Silence. Then Eddie clapped. Slowly, the neighborhood joined in. Patricia stammered, "Well, rules exist for a reason." "You're right, like the ADA, which protects people like me. Threatening this ramp might be a federal violation." "I motion for an emergency HOA meeting, tonight." 3 voices seconded it. 30 neighbors stood with her. Patricia, outnumbered, stormed off. That night, the meeting was packed. Kyle attended in full uniform. One by one, neighbors spoke. ADA research, property value data, personal stories. Then quiet Margaret Chen stood. I've kept records. In 18 months, Patricia issued 237 violations. Most were dismissed after legal threats. She's cost us thousands. The room exploded. People shared stories, Christmas lights, lawn gnomes, fence colors. Robert, a board member, stood. I motion to remove Patricia Drummond as HOA president. The vote unanimous. Bylaws were amended to exempt ADA accommodations. Fines were reviewed and refunded. Patricia protested. You can't do this. My husband will sue. He's been disbarred twice, Susan the realtor said calmly. I checked. Janet Morrison was elected new HOA president. Patricia stormed off. The next day, code enforcement showed up at her house. Her gazebo violated city code. Fines, $8,000. Within a week, a for sale sign appeared. As for the ramp, it became a landmark. Flags on Veterans Day, lights at Christmas, chalk messages from kids. What Patricia called an eyesore became our symbol of unity. The last time I saw her, she was arguing with a store manager about shopping carts. Some people never change, but our neighborhood did. Kyle started college that fall, studying civil engineering. If I could make one life easier, maybe losing my legs meant something. Now when I see that ramp, I see more than wood and nails. I see a community that finally found its voice, and a bitter woman who learned that property values mean nothing without compassion.